Welcome to our deep dive today.
Yeah,
You sent over an article with a pretty surprising title.
I did.
It's called Chun,
Huh?
which I guess translates to Trump, a modern Moses,
That's it.
from the Tri-Valley Young Adult Ministry website.
Right.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So we're going to be exploring how this piece presents Donald Trump
Right.
in a way that people might not expect.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly attention grabbing.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
Moses,
yeah.
A very significant figure,
Yeah.
really elevates Trump
Yeah.
to this
It's
almost mythical level.
yeah, it's not subtle.
No, not at all.
So how does the article actually make the connection between Trump and Moses?
Well, it kind of draws this parallel between Trump's decision to get into politics,
Right.
to leave his life as this, billionaire businessman.
Yeah.
And then you have Moses leaving the comforts of Egypt.
Right.
Both of them were portrayed as chosen.
Okay.
They have a higher calling
Right.
to lead their people out of a tough spot.
Okay, so that's where Make America Great Again comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make America Great Again is like this present-day version of
Yeah.
Moses freeing the Israelites from slavery.
Right.
And the argument is that Trump,
Yeah.
just like Moses,
Yeah.
is up against these huge forces of corruption
Oh,
that they call the swamp in Washington, D.C.
swamp being a pretty loaded term.
Yeah, absolutely.
These days.
The swamp is just this political metaphor,
Yeah.
representing all this corruption,
Yeah.
entrenched interests that don't want things to change.
Right.
And so when they portray Trump as fighting the swamp,
Uh-huh.
it's like he's this outsider,
Yeah.
battling the establishment.
So it's not just about policy disagreements then.
Well,
It's like making Trump this,
it's deep.
crusader for good
Yeah,
against evil.
that's right.
Yeah, okay.
And to push that point,
Yeah.
the article says Trump had these massive roadblocks during his third campaign,
Okay.
like legal challenges, bad press,
Uh-huh.
and even people trying to kill him.
Wait, assassination attempts?
Yeah,
That's a big claim.
it is.
Yeah.
They even talk about this near-fatal shooting
Wow.
at a rally,
Okay.
and they say it was divine intervention that saved Trump.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
So now we're talking divine intervention.
Yeah.
This is getting pretty intense.
It's,
Yeah.
it is intense.
Yeah.
And this shooting,
Mm-hmm.
it's just one example of God protecting Trump. It's
Right.
part of this bigger theme
Uh,
of faith and divine intervention.
Yeah.
It's throughout the whole article.
Yeah.
They talk about Trump's Christian faith
Right.
and say how he thinks the Bible is the best book.
So they're really portraying Trump as this chosen guy,
Right.
guided and protected by God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And to really make that point stick,
Mm-hmm.
the article brings up Elon Musk
Okay.
supporting Trump,
So Elon Musk is in on this divine plan.
according to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They say Musk's support was a big turning point.
Okay.
It really helped Trump win.
That's a pretty interesting way to connect those things.
It is.
Yeah.
Really emphasizes that destiny narrative,
Yeah.
The idea that there's this greater purpose
Right.
at work here.
Yeah.
And, by bringing in these themes of faith
Mm-hmm.
and God intervening,
Right.
it really creates this powerful narrative
Yeah.
that clicks with a certain audience,
Right.
especially if they share those religious beliefs.
It makes you wonder, though, how this article would land with someone who isn't religious
It does.
or sees politics from a more secular point of view.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And one we'll definitely be digging into
Yeah.
as we continue this deep dive.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's interesting how the article doesn't avoid tough subjects.
Yeah.
Like, it actually dives right into them.
Uh-huh.
It portrays Trump as a victim of unfairness, especially with the 2020 election.
You're right. They come right out and say there was election fraud.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why Trump lost the first time.
Right.
So it kind of reinforces this whole idea of Trump fighting against corruption.
Exactly.
It almost reads like one of those underdog stories,
It does.
where the hero overcomes all these crazy obstacles
Uh-huh.
and wins in the end.
Yeah. They even compare him to people from the Bible
Oh, really?
who went through tough times and persecution
Right.
before they achieved their goals.
So they're tapping into those classic stories
Yeah.
that people already know and believe
Exactly.
to make their message stronger and make
Right.
it resonate with their audience.
It's a really effective way to frame a political story,
Yeah.
but it also makes you think about the role of faith
Yeah.
and belief
Right.
in shaping how we understand what's happening in the world.
Totally. It's like the article links Trump's success directly to his faith in God like divine intervention was a major factor.
Yeah.
And that's a perspective that a lot of people connect with,
Right.
especially those who have similar religious beliefs.
Exactly.
But it can also be a tough concept for people who don't share those beliefs.
Right.
So how do you balance this idea of divine intervention
Yeah.
with a more secular view of politics and power?
That's a complex question.
Yeah.
And one that the article itself doesn't really answer.
Right.
It presents a very specific narrative
Yeah.
and doesn't leave much room for other interpretations.
Okay, so for someone who's reading this article
Yeah.
with a more critical eye, what should they keep in mind?
I think the most important thing is to recognize
Yeah.
what the author is trying to do
Right.
and who they're trying to reach.
Okay.
This article is clearly written
Uh-huh.
to inspire and motivate
Right.
people who already believe in Trump's mission
Okay.
and see him as this divinely chosen leader
So it's not really about presenting a balanced view. Right.
of his political career.
No.
It's more about reinforcing a specific narrative
Exactly.
that fits with a certain set of beliefs.
That's right.
And while there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
it's important for readers to understand the context and the author's point of view
Right.
when they're evaluating the information.
It's a good reminder that everything we read or see,
Yeah.
whether it's a news article, a blog post, or even something on social media,
Right.
is filtered through someone's perspective.
Yeah.
Their own experiences and beliefs.
And recognizing those filters,
Right.
those underlying perspectives, is crucial for developing our own informed opinions and navigating this crazy world of information and misinformation.
It's a skill that's becoming more and more important, especially with social media and the constant flood of information we're exposed to.
We need to be critical thinkers,
Yes.
questioning assumptions,
Right.
considering different viewpoints. Exactly.
And forming our own conclusions based on evidence and logic.
Absolutely.
It sounds like you're saying we shouldn't just accept everything we read, especially when it comes to politics.
Yeah, it's like we need to be more active,
Right.
not just passively taking in information.
Okay.
Like, be a detective.
Yeah.
Examine the evidence. Think about where it came from.
Yeah.
Look for biases, agendas.
Right, like is someone trying to push a certain angle?
Exactly.
And this article definitely presents a very specific view of Donald Trump.
Right.
Like it uses some strong language and imagery to paint him as this larger-than-life figure
Right.
chosen by God
Yeah.
to lead America to a better future.
And by making that connection to Moses,
Right.
the article taps into some deep emotions and beliefs.
Yeah.
It's more than just politics.
Uh-huh.
It's about faith, destiny, overcoming obstacles.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this article, what's the one big takeaway you want our listener to remember?
I'd say the most important thing is to recognize
Okay.
that every story, every piece of information
Yeah.
has a purpose.
Okay.
It's designed to tell us something, convinces, inspire us.
And we get to decide how we interpret that message, to think for ourselves and draw our own conclusions.
Right. Don't just accept things at face value.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Challenge what you're told.
Right.
Look for different points of view.
Okay.
That's how we become truly informed
Yeah.
and make good decisions.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive today.
It was my pleasure.
And to you listening, we hope this has given you some food for thought. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the information that shapes your world.